Hello guys, it's me Sim Urahara, and in this video we'll talk about Kira, one of my favorite voice captions. There is no doubt that now all Bleach fans, whether the ones who have read the manga or watched the first part of the new Bleach season, watched the scene of Kira's fatal fall, and saw that Kira was one of the first characters to get injured after the start of the first Quincy invasion, and the injury he suffered was not easy, an injury to the chest. And the ones who have seen this scene for the first time believed that Kira is finished. But in the manga, after the end of Kyoraku and Anao's fight against Lilibaro, Kira returned again after an absence that lasted, I think, for more than 160 chapters, which is something not easy. And so that Kira was absent from most of the events of the Quincy arc, and only appeared in the chapters in which the manga was on the verge of ending. Of course, many were wondering how Kira survived and was he no longer vice captain or what. However, what some people may not know is that Kubo, through the novel The Beginning of Tomorrow and also chapter 520.5, had given us some information about Kira and how he survived. And the novel covers a fight that doesn't exist in the manga, which is the fight of Kira versus Shaz Domino. And in that fight, we knew how Kira was survived. I already made a video 3 years ago about that fight, but what I want to focus on this video is how Kira came back from the death and how what happened to Kira made him stronger than before. But first, let us talk about Kira's injury itself. The one who attacked Kira was Busby. And Busby attacked him using the Schrift ability, which is heat. And I think he used one finger. With one finger technique, he formed that hole inside Kira's chest. And with the same finger, he blew off the head of the third officer Rico. Unluckily for Kira, the injury was at the level of the chest, unlike this poor officer who was hit in the head. And maybe that Kira's injury itself, if it was in another anime, would mean inevitable death. But we are in the story of Bleach, especially when we talk about the Shinigami characters, as we have seen many characters who were injured with the same level of injury or more were treated, like Rangiku, who was injured by iron, as well as Hiro's injury, which is considered the most dangerous one, so that Gin split her in half, and yet she survived. But in the case of Kira, it was difficult because the first invasion was fierce and didn't leave a room for the 4th division to move, so that the Sotaicho at that time, Yamamoto, ordered them not to leave the division headquarters, and therefore it was difficult to transport the wounded to there, especially since most of those who were with Kira died, if I didn't say that he was the only one who was between life and death. And what made it worse is that Unohana, who is considered the most skilled one in Kaido, she had to go to the Mugen to fight Zaraki Kinpachi, and therefore she wouldn't be able to heal him. And even Orihime at that time was in the weak commando. But here is where one of the heroes of the Quincy arc will intervene. Yes, it's Mayuri. It seems that Mayuri may have happened to find Kira lying on the Search's flagstones, surrounded by many of the dead officers who were with him. And according to what I understood from the words of Mayuri, if he had the possibility of saving Kira in a normal way, meaning he tries to save him like Matsumoto, he would have done it. But Mayuri was thinking of an issue beyond saving Kira, and it is the balance of the words. How is that? If we go back to the beginning of the first invasion, the Quincy have killed a large numbers of hollows in a short time, which made the worlds start to lose balance, so that a crack appeared in the world of the living, to the point that Yuri was able to smell the Shinigami from the Soul Society. And this imbalance made Mayuri annihilate 28,000 souls in the Rekongai to restore the balance as before, and it seems that the same thing would have happened after the end of the first invasion. As Akon says, minutes after the start of the first invasion, more than 2,000 officers their Ryatsu have disappeared, and he said that this number is increasing with every second. So Mayuri, when he saw Kira in that state, thought of a strange idea. Instead of letting the officers' souls vanish on their own, he decided to restore Kira's body and soul using the souls of the dead officers who were besides him, to reduce the possibility of the imbalance. And as I always say, the concept of the word imbalance in Bleach is very important, and any major imbalance means the destruction of those words. Thus, what Mayuri did by inserting those vanished souls into Kira's body made Kira grow stronger in terms of everything. His Ryatsu has increased greatly, his physical strength as well as even his thoughtness, and this is what I liked about the whole thing. It is true that I was upset that Kubo didn't give Kira a fight in the manga and we would have even seen his Bankai. But after what Mayuri did, and here we see this scene from chapter 520.5, we see Mayuri was treating him, and this has increased Kira's strength a lot. And the effects of that boost power, we saw it in the fight he fought against Shaz, which was between the first and the second invasion. So much so that Shaz Domino thought that Kira was a captain and not a vice captain, given the power he had become. Although I thought we would have seen this manifestation of that power when Kira first appeared after the injury in chapter 654. But Kubo showed him in that chapter and then he completely forgot him. And by the way, since Kubo made Kira get injured like this, he wanted to draw his comeback in that way, the crescent behind his chest. But honestly, the thing that I was personally afraid of is that Kira's personality will change completely, or that he will not return to the Gotei 13, or that something like what happened to Komamura or any of the characters who were defeated and completely forgotten. But with the return of Kubo and the release of the one-shot of Hell, Kira appeared again with the other vice captains, and this is what a confirmation that he's still a vice captain of the 3rd division, so that his intervention with his legs was enough to damage the Hell Beasts, and then he used his Shikai ability, Wabiski, one of the coolest abilities in Bleach. I already said in a previous video that Kubo talked about that if Kira had a Bankai, it would be nauseating, and since the events of the one-shot took place 12 years after the fight of Yuabach and Ichigo, I'm almost sure that Kira now has a Bankai. And I think Kira, even without those 12 years of skip time, he could use Bankai in the Quincy arc, and who knows, Kubo can let Kira go's Bankai in the anime. And actually, it's a good chance to let Kira has a fight, either by showing his fight against Shaz in the anime, or Kubo can make a completely new fight for him, where we can see his Bankai. But as I said, even if Kubo didn't want to show anything about Kira in 1000 Years Blood War arc, then there is the Hell arc. Maybe Kubo is saving this card of Kira in that arc. So guys, what do you think about all of this? Do you think we can have this fight of Kira versus Shaz in the anime? Or a new fight of him? Or maybe Kubo will forget Kira as he did in the manga, until the Hell arc where he can use him. So guys, tell me in the comments and see you guys in my next video.